Hi there, I'm Kevin Benedict, the Enterprise Mobility Analyst, reporting live from Las Vegas this week at the Enterprise Mobility Exchange 2011. And I have with me as guest Ted Johnson from Exelon. Ted, what role do you have there? And why don't you share with the viewers today a little bit about your mobility environment?
Okay, so the role I have there is the IT manager for mobility, and that grows across two utilities that Exelon owns, Pico in Philadelphia, and then in ComEd we have, in Chicago we have ComEd, is the utility in Chicago. So the team that I have is really a team of contractors. We contract out to an organization called Olenek and Associates, is the contracting firm. We have a managed service agreement with them.
Okay.
We have 12 contractors from Olenek, 6 in the East in Philadelphia, and then 6 in the Midwest in Chicago.
Okay.
So that's 12 people. And then we have an employee lead in the East, an employee lead in the West. I have 2 employee leads, and then myself as the manager.
So how much mobility, what's the mobility, how many devices are you supporting out in the field?
So in the field we have a total of 3,000 devices in total. But in the field, MDTs, are mobile data terminals in the field, ruggedized Panasonic laptops. We have about 2,300 in the field.
Wow, that's a lot. And you volunteered to be in the support of that.
Yeah, I guess I did.
So I imagine there's a few lessons you've learned.
Yeah, and so some of the lessons I learned, particularly around how do you manage an environment as it's distributed further away from the enterprise.
Yeah.
And in particular, being wireless. That brings on its own particular, situations in terms of our enterprise group is used to managing, hardwired devices. And so then when you go wireless, you're dealing with, bandwidth issues, wireless issues. It's not as fast as a wired LAN. And they tend to push down security packages that are very large in nature. And so sometimes they're not able to be pushed down in a timely fashion out in a wireless environment. So how do we handle that? So at times we need to bring those devices in to what we call a depot. Bring them in to the hardwire so they can get the patches if they're too large. And of course, that's a significantly more expensive way of doing it. So we really have to make our enterprise organization aware that these wireless devices are out there and be sensitive to our needs. And so that means smaller security patches, maybe more frequent, so that we can push down over a wireless network.
So this is a lesson for any enterprise that's making that kind of transition from desktop environments where they're supporting in-building, on-facility desktops to mobile devices, and you need to think about things a bit different, don't you?
Definitely need to think about things a bit different. Of course, our users are not as savvy, so they get very frustrated if something is taking them 30 minutes to roll out. That's productivity lost in the field. It's different than a worker in the office that can sit the device down or push a button and go to lunch. Right? Our users don't have that type of flexibility, so they want their patches very quickly. They want it to happen and be done with. So,
but the team that's delivering some of those patches are not always thinking through what it takes to update a device in the field.
In our environment, we have about 18,000 desktops.
Okay.
And again, about 2,300 of them are these kind of field
laptops.
So it's significant, but still a minority in terms of the overall number of desktops. So at times we're forgotten, but we keep kind of rattling the cages, making them aware, and over time that paradigm shift is happening.
So when you look forward 12 months, 24, 36 months, do you see a lot more mobile devices coming in?
Yeah, I do. More handheld devices. There's constant requests for handhelds, and in addition to our MDT, some of them will be kind of devices that work in conjunction with the MDT via Bluetooth. Others will work totally independent, and you won't need an MDT to operate those devices. They'll just be kind of standalone handheld.
Well, got it. So I think the advice we should leave with our viewers today is think about things a bit different. Understand there's a slower connection speed, and you want to make sure that patches and upgrades, when at all possible, can be done over the wire or wirelessly in the field, and you're not required to bring them back in, because that takes people out of the field.
Right.
Yeah.
Time and expense, it gets them away from their jobs, and then it's very expensive to pay,
Yeah.
IT people to sit and push those buttons and do it for them. So we want it self-serve. We
Yeah.
want it to be done wireless. That's the cheapest way to do it.
Yeah.
And again, that means smaller patches and may be done more frequently.
Great. Thank you very much for sharing, Ted.
Okay.